Welcome to the Deadlifts and Pizza podcast, where we discuss no BS fitness and nutrition.
We're your hosts. I'm Laura.
And I'm Jamie.
Let's get into it.
Tell me if this ever happens to you. Okay. Question. It has to do with tracking macros. Do you ever... Well, let me tell you what happened to me, and you tell me if this ever happens to you. I've been very loose with tracking. I'll do one of those things where I'll track at the end of the day and just kind of see where I'm at. I've been trying to be consistent with tracking, so I should put that out there. I'm in a phase where I'm trying to be consistent, see where I'm at, whatever. So, but I've been kind of loose with it. I haven't really been tracking throughout the day. I'll track at the end of the evening, or I'll track some things, but not everything, like the bulk of things to make sure I got enough protein or make sure I got enough fiber, but not really like paying attention to the calories. But yesterday I tracked all day. So, which means like in the beginning of the day, and I had made a recipe for this casserole that I made. And so I wanted to like put that in and see how it actually affected my day, because we'd had it as leftovers. So I put that in as dinner. I put in lunch, I put in breakfast, and then I was on a roll, right? So I kind of was like, I tracked my snacks. It's going to be excellent today. I'm going to see where I'm at. And by the end of the day, I had everything tracked and I was good. And I was like, all right, great. I have room for like a bowl of like Cheerios at the end of the night. Like this is what, what I want. But after I ate that bowl of Cheerios, I had this feeling in my mind, and this has happened before, where like, I want to eat more just because, almost like because I knew I couldn't, quote unquote, I knew I was like at the end, like I wanted to anyway. And I haven't been feeling that way at all. I've been very like, oh, I'm satisfied and I'm good with like closing up the kitchen. But I was like in this phase of like, I'm sticking my finger in that peanut butter jar. Like I didn't eat that much. It's not about the calories, right? I didn't eat that much, but it was the mindset of like wanting to grab things just because I like knew that I quote unquote couldn't.
That only happens to me if my calories are really low.
Yeah.
And I've been doing it for a long time. So I thought you were going to say this, and this happens to me too, where I've tracked everything and and I had some room left over, and I actually wasn't really like, I didn't need food. Like, I think I probably would have stopped there normally, but I was like, I have some extra calories, so why don't I eat this thing over here? I've done that before. But, so it almost made me eat more is what I'm trying to say. But that's usually if I'm at maintenance or, above maintenance, not when I'm in a deficit. But no, it only happens when I'm in a calorie deficit. Are you in a deficit or are you eating at maintenance?
No, I was like 1,800 to 2,000 calories. Like I was good. I wasn't hungry. I wasn't deprived. I had this cheesy pasta meal for dinner, like gravy.
That has, it has happened to me before, but it's not as common, I guess.
Yeah. I feel like I get those like little mental reactions to things. It's like the one day that I was actually really on point, like everything was accounted for. It was almost like that mindset of being so aware of all of the calories and the protein and the fiber, like being so aware of all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of thought in my mind of like, all right, you're done. Like, no, it's like I want to rebel against it in a weird way. Yeah. Like, I'm not even hungry. It's not even like I'm hungry. I'm just like, it's weird. And that's why I feel like sometimes tracking causes me to think about food way more than I would normally think about food if I just went through my life. So it's like a hard balance sometimes.
It doesn't with me because I'm always thinking about food. It doesn't matter if I'm going to track it or not. So it doesn't make that big of a difference for me. Right now I'm not tracking, and I think I eat more food when I'm not tracking most of the time.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sometimes I'm in better mindsets than others, and I am always thinking about food, but it's a different way of thinking about it when I'm tracking. So I don't know. Yeah. I guess you can't relate as much.
No. I know what you're saying though. It's more of like the restriction in general though.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes if I feel that way, like, and I'm legit hungry, but I'm supposed to be at maintenance, I will eat the extra thing because I think I probably needed this. There's a reason why I'm still hungry.
For sure. No, those practical things. I'm talking about the impractical.
Yeah.
Where your mind's just like, this doesn't even make any sense. I'm doing shit just to do shit. I'm grabbing at graham crackers like, haha.
Yeah.
Not tracking that. Peanut butter, finger in it. And I haven't been doing that at all. It was like the first day that I'm like.
Sometimes when you ask me questions like that, I'm thinking about like, I don't know. I'm sure that happens to me all the time. It's just not a place I'm in right now.
Yeah.
But it probably does happen to me and I forget about it. And then I go in it and I'm like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's possible.
Right now I'm not in that place.
Yeah, I do wonder. I do wonder if that's connected to a couple of things. I wonder if it's connected to like eating disorders, like whatever it is that causes that. Because I had that, and then I also wonder if there's some sort of I feel like though this would match for you though. It was like a little bit of like a rebellion, like a anti-authoritarianism. Even though I'm like I myself am the authoritarian I'm rebelling against. Yeah,
I'm not like that. You can't tell me what to do, Laura. You're not the boss of me.
Damn you! Try to boss me around, tell me what to do. I'm in charge of my own choices, freedoms.
Yes. No, I know what you mean.
Anyway, all right.
So I went to the gym again yesterday, and remember this definitely goes into the conversation. Do you rather work at home or at the gym?
Oh yeah.
And
I miss the gym. I miss people.
I do not do well at the gym. I do not. The whole time I'm there, I am anxious and I don't even do a lot of exercises, right? So I did my main workout at home and I did a full-on workout, but I'm just going there for some extra stuff.
You did your workout before you went to the gym?
Do my workout first thing in the morning.
And then you went to the gym.
And then I got the kids ready for school, did all these things, and then around 9:30 went to the gym, right? And I did, so it's extra. It's like, yeah. So I only did leg press, leg extension, leg curl, and I did 3 sets of each of those, right? But it was a little bit busier day. And by busy, I don't mean it was like packed full of people, but there was a decent amount of people in there, and there were a lot of people over by the leg machines. I feel like it's like at that time of day, I think all of the retired people are out at the gym, right? Because it was like an older crowd, and then there was younger people, like a lot of people in their 20s. So it was like older people and younger people, not a lot of people in between. And I just get so anxious when there's people around. So people are just walking around and doing their thing and whatever. And I don't know what it is, but it's like chaos in my brain when there's too much commotion going on, right? And then on top of it, I'll sit there, I'll be like, but what if they need to use this machine? Am I in anyone's way? And am I in people's way right now? I need to hurry up. I need to finish this set so I can go on to something else, because I won't want to be in anyone's way. And I don't want to take too long. And I don't want to be, I don't want to be a problem. I don't want to take up any space. I just want to go. I'm sorry. Here's your machine. Like that's how I feel.
You deserve it more than me.
You deserve it more than me. I'm nothing. Here, take it. Yeah, so I'll be like, I won't take very long in between my sets because I'm like, I get like all anxious, like I got to hurry up and get it over with and go on to the next thing. And it's not a good atmosphere.
Yeah,
for me to be doing my workouts in, and I don't know why I'm like that. Like I don't know, like I don't know what it's like to be just like calm and like just chill, like go through life and not worry about every little thing that could possibly go wrong, or every little way that you could be inconveniencing somebody else, or always thinking about other people and how you're in their way.
Question. Question.
Yeah.
Imagine a scenario where starting today, every single day, you get up and go to the gym and you do your workout in the gym every day for 4 weeks.
Okay.
Do you think that by the end of those 4 weeks, you would be less anxious at the gym, or do you think it would be the exact same level?
Because of what I'm anxious about, I think it would be the exact same level.
Are you up for a challenge? I would like to formally challenge you, because I think you would get better at it.
I think, okay, so if I was just anxious being around people and just nervous about, I don't know how to use this machine and I look like an idiot, that kind of thing, going to the gym would be like, I feel comfortable here and I feel confident and I can do this now. I'm not scared anymore. Not that that's something I'm anxious about, because that's not what I was actually nervous about. Right. But like if that was my thing, then going constantly would take that away. But the part about being in people's way, that's just like who I am.
But that's that's because you're talking about like if it was anxious about like the machines or not knowing how to use them, you could learn those things and then take it away. So in this situation, you're not learning something new that could take it away. It's just a baseline.
It's like building confidence.
Yes.
When you're confident, you're not as nervous.
But don't you think repeated exposure to something would force you to, maybe you still, and that's why I didn't say it would be all better, but maybe it would be at a lower level because you forced yourself to get used to it. So maybe it wouldn't be the same.
It might be a lower level, but it would probably still be there. And it would probably depend on the day and my mood and how I am that day. If I made friends at the gym and I saw the same people and we were friendly with each other, that would probably lower the anxiety of it, because I would be like, oh, that's just Jerry. And
Jerry. Oh, you're going to say like Jennifer, some female name. Like, no, Jerry.
No, because it's an older crowd. His name is Jerry. There was a lot of older guys, older gentlemen there. Yeah.
Well, I wonder who's there at the 5 a.m. crew. I bet you it's a bunch of badasses. Like
I used to go earlier, and but I don't want to. But I don't want to do my whole workout at the gym because I like to do the barbells. They don't have barbells. It's just
fitness.
What are they called, Jamie?
The Smith machine.
Smith machines.
Yeah.
Those, and it's like, so I don't want to do my entire workout there.
Okay. All right. Heard. Yeah. I'm always trying to push the envelope a little bit.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it because I like to do, I don't like to use excuses. Like, I like to do challenging things, and I like to do things that get me out of my comfort zone, even though I hate them at the same time.
Yeah.
But I think there's a benefit from it, but I don't know if it would actually get better.
Got it. Yeah, because I remember when I had access to the gym, I would make my programs have certain workouts be very easy to do at the gym and certain workouts planned around home. So like doing like barbell workouts at home, but the other workouts there, like if you really wanted to.
I've done that before too, and because I intermittently I'll go to the gym, and if I had to go to the gym and there was no other way, I would find a way to get comfortable and just do it anyway and whatever. Yeah. But I don't have to because I have a home gym. So what's the reason for it?
Yep. I am in a space where I'm very kind of excited about the idea of kettlebells. It's like a very weird way to phrase that. I don't want to say intrigued because I've used kettlebells before. I'm not intrigued. It's more like I'm motivated. I would like to. I don't know what like words or phrases to use. I think I follow this one person that always does kettlebell work, and I've always followed her, so I don't know. But I don't know. Lately, I've just been, I think, a little. I want something different. I want something new. I wanted something a little bit different kind of challenge. So the other day, I just was like, I was not in the mood to be in the gym. I didn't feel like doing any of my exercises. I was like, you know what? Let me play around with kettlebells. I'm going to try a couple of exercises that I've like seen that I know, some that I haven't tried before, some that I haven't thought I could do comfortably because like I have this really heavy kettlebell, but like I've never really challenged myself. So I'm going to do that instead. And holy crap, I did a front rack single kettlebell. So I only was front racking one kettlebell kind of on my shoulder, like holding it up. And I did a squat to a reverse lunge. My core was lit on fire, like lit, because as soon as I went down into that squat with one like 50-pound kettlebell on my arm, like kind of on my shoulder, I could feel it. I was like having to balance because I have all of this extra weight on one side. So your core is lit up trying to like balance you. But then when I went into a reverse lunge, I almost tipped over. Like my whole body almost tipped over when I went, because I was doing the reverse lunge on the same leg that I had my thing on too. So the weight, so I wasn't counterbalanced. I was like putting it all on one. And the amount of core activation I had to do to keep myself straight up, it was lit the whole time. I was kind of mind blown actually, like how intense my core was.
So you had it on the same side that you were bringing the leg back. So you weren't doing it contralaterally. You were doing it.
I was holding the weight on my left arm. Okay. But I was sending my right leg back.
Oh, okay. So you're doing it contralaterally.
Yeah.
Okay.
So both of my limbs were forward, which was causing me, like if I had stepped back with also my left, I would have been a little bit more balanced, but I wanted to challenge myself. Right. So I sent the other leg back and I literally almost tipped over and I had to correct myself.
Yeah, I love doing contralateral exercises because I could just feel my core light. We've talked about it before. Yeah, it's great for your core to keep, because you have to keep everything balanced and
if
whatever.
This was even more than I think I've experienced in other, I was just mind blown by how little.
Yeah.
I think the way that you have to hold the kettlebell too. I think there's a stabilization element there that's not there with dumbbells and barbells and even landmines or whatever that adds to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it was cool. So now I'm wanting to do some more kettlebell stuff. So I'm finishing out my program and I'm almost done anyway. So I'm going to work on like a kettlebell program. And it's not all going to be kettlebells, because something I realized too is it takes a lot to figure out how to properly hold it. And also to build up. So even if you're holding it properly, like the way that it rests on your forearms, even when
hurts sometimes,
it does. And even when you're holding it properly, it still hurts just because
I'll
you're
get
not
like
used
bruises
to it.
on my arm.
Yes. I literally was like kind of swollen in my wrist just from the weight sitting on it. So I think it definitely takes, when people complain using barbells and they're like, my hands hurt, like I'm not used to holding weight. I don't feel that anymore. So I'm assuming that will go away.
Yeah, hopefully. Yeah, I've done different things. And I'm like, oh, this is so awkward.
So I think going from like rarely using a kettlebell in that way to using it for every exercise, like 3 or 4 days a week, would be a bit much. I think it's actually unrealistic. So I'm going to make a program though that really highlights using them. I think I'm still going to do like a barbell main exercise and then a lot of like kettlebell working in. But I'm excited about it. Have a little bit of vigor.
I like that.
Yeah.
I only have, my kettlebells only go up to 35 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't do, like, I wouldn't be able to do, like, I mean, I could do a lot of stuff, but I can't do like what you just said. You're holding 50 pounds. I don't have the same amount of weight and they're so expensive. I want to buy more.
Was I holding 50 or was I holding I was holding my 16 kilogram. So it wasn't 50 pounds. It was 33.
Oh, okay. Okay. So that's like.
No, it was more than that. Whatever 16 kilograms is.
This is 16 kilograms and it's 35.
Yeah, 35. That's what I was holding. Because I have a 50-pound one. And I would be able to... Well, that's why I was doing a squat into a reverse lunge. Because this is like the idea that the weight that I was holding was challenging for my core. And it was challenging for me to hold up. But it wasn't challenging for my quad muscles.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'm essentially, by doing a squat and a reverse lunge, I'm doing 2 reps instead of 1. Right. So I'm getting more volume in. So that's why I did it that way instead of just doing a standard. But if I was double kettlebell front racking, like I've seen some people like, so I'm actually like wanting to build up my kettlebell collection now. I'd like to get a couple of like the same weights so that I can kind of play around with that. But I want to get some wrist straps, man, some kind of padding.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I know what you mean.
Mother.
Yeah. I only have, and the 35, I only have one of them because they're expensive.
And then the rotating, when you're like, you swing it into position, even when you're not kettlebell swinging, you swing it into position a lot. So my hands were hurting too, even though I do barbells and I have all these calluses from barbells and stuff. I was like, mother effer.
When you swing it into position and then you smack your arm with it and you're like, ow.
Yeah. Well, I've learned how to not smack my arm. There's a way that you have to pull it in and you kind of meet your wrist to it so you don't smack it. So I've gotten good at that, because that's really bad when it's like slamming on your arm. But just holding it there and having it sitting there, like my wrist was like kind of swollen. I could see the inflammation. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, I love kettlebells. I'm going to use them more. Kettlebells. Okay.
I thought this was really interesting. I was looking at Bill Campbell's research review, and this was an old study that he had in there, but it was between processed foods and non-processed foods. And it was from, I think it was 2020 or 2019. So not that long ago, but not super recent. And I just thought it was interesting. And I thought it was worth talking about, because the way the study was done was they essentially were trying to look at the differences. Not only, I think the purpose of the study was weight gain or weight loss, eating processed or non-processed foods. But they took these people and they were able to have them live in like a controlled lab. I think it was for like a month. And so all of their food was strictly controlled. And I love when that happens, because you know exactly what you're working with and you can directly compare based on that data. But what I also thought was interesting was the groups didn't actually eat the same amount necessarily. They were offered the same amount of calories, but they didn't eat the same amount of calories. So they were offered the exact same amount of calories, protein, carbs, fats. All of that was accounted for. But then they allowed the people to eat as much of what they wanted of the offerings, right? And then they not only compared how many calories those two groups ended up eating, but then they compared if there was any weight loss or weight gain of those two groups. And you can probably predict which group ate more food.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was
the processed food.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was ultra processed food groups. And I also thought it would be worthwhile to go through example menus because they had it up. The example menu.
They actually had the menus in there.
Yes. And it's an example menu. So this is like one day. So I don't know if this is like every day. This is an example of like a day of an ultra processed group and the unprocessed group. Again, matched for calories, fats, protein, carbs. And they did notice that the ultra processed group ate close to 3,000 calories naturally. And the unprocessed group ate closer to 2,500 calories naturally. So it's like a 500 calorie difference. But the other thing to note is that those calories are going to be like, you're going to derive a different amount of calories from each of those diets. So the people eating the ultra processed food are going to derive more calories from them. Whereas the unprocessed food, you don't derive as many calories because of the way they're processing in your body. You process some of those out and you're chewing things and you're missing chunks. Whereas ultra processed foods are like, I don't want to say they're partially digested because they're not, but you can imagine that they are.
Yeah. It's like, it's more work for your body.
Yeah.
Basically. So you're burning more calories digesting it.
The unprocessed diet.
Unprocessed.
Yes. So you're not only burning a little bit more, but you're also literally just not like fiber, for example. Fiber has calories in itself. The fibers in food has some of the calories, and we digest out fiber. Fiber leaves our bodies. So you're literally like digesting that out. Nuts. When you're comparing nuts and peanut butter, people don't absorb as many of the calories from nuts as they do from peanut butter because you're literally not. It's like partially digested. When it's peanut butter, it's not. You know what I mean? Not digested, but it's like, Anyway,
it's processed already for you. It's in the word. It's processed.
Yeah, it's
so
half the work's already
processing done. For your body to do.
Exactly. So it is calories in, calories out. Like we know that from like a thermodynamics perspective, but it's not as simple.
The calories in aren't exactly the calories in that you think they are, or the calories out. It's not still calories in, calories out. It's just not it's hard to calculate.
Exactly. I think of it more as it's not calories in the mouth versus calories burned. It's calories derived and calories burned. You know what I mean? So it's just very interesting. So example menu of ultra processed and unprocessed. So here's an ultra processed breakfast was pancakes with margarine and syrup, turkey sausage, tater tots, and apple juice. The unprocessed breakfast was oatmeal, blueberries, raw almonds, and 2% milk.
Okay.
The ultra processed lunch was a cheeseburger with American cheese on a Kaiser roll, French fries and ketchup, and a diet lemonade.
This just sounds like the standard American diet.
Totally.
Okay, that's why we eat 3,000 calories a day. Keep going.
Exactly. The unprocessed lunch was salmon with garlic, sweet potato with olive oil, green beans with olive oil, and plain Greek yogurt with strawberries. Oh.
This sounds like how I eat.
Yeah, pretty much. Except for the plain Greek yogurt. Like, can we add something to that?
I add maple syrup to it.
To Greek yogurt? Well, that's a good idea. Do you do the sugar-free maple syrup or do you do standard maple syrup?
No, I do like the real. I want the real maple syrup. Up in New York, we get the actual like local maple syrup. It's really good. It's straight you could totally tell. Yes. You could tell the difference between the real stuff and the stuff in the store.
My nephew, how old is my nephew? He's 13 years old. So this is not like a baby child. This is like a man child. And last time we were together, I have all kids. I had my own kids and my 6 nieces and nephews with me. You remember this day because I texted you like, oh my God, I have all of these children. And their ages were 3 to 15, or 14. So see, he was 12. He was in 13. He's 12. Still, he's as tall as I am. So anyway, at ages 4 to 13 with me. And of all of the children that I thought was going to make like a giant mess, it was the second oldest, which was this nephew of mine who's 12, because 2 of the things he did, one was this is what reminded me of it. There was a tree out in the backyard and he was over there at the tree and I didn't know what he was doing. But then like 30 minutes later, one of the other kids found poop on the kitchen floor and they followed the poop. There was more and more and more. And it was a trail all the way to the bathroom. So we followed the trail of like poop to the bathroom and my nephew's in there like washing his hands, like freaking out, like washing them like vigorously. And I was like, what are you doing? Do you have poop on your shoe? And so it turns out he had stepped in dog poop and had trekked it through the house. And why he was washing his hands so vigorously was because he was at the tree trying to get maple syrup out of it. And so he was like digging in the tree and he had sap like all over his hands. And he was like, I was trying to get maple syrup. I was like, of all the kids, you're the one that's like got your hands covered in maple syrup and you've tracked poop through the entire house.
I could just feel the stickiness on my hands. No,
it does not. No amount of soap. I don't know if there's a special trick, but I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Anyway, sidebar. Dinner. Ultra processed dinner was turkey meatballs on a hoagie roll with marinara sauce and Parmesan cheese. It sounds amazing, actually.
It does.
Cheese and peanut butter crackers and another diet lemonade.
Okay.
The unprocessed dinner was stir-fried beef tender roast with broccoli, onions, sweet peppers, ginger, garlic, and olive oil. Sounds amazing.
This is how I eat.
Yeah. With basmati rice. So notice it's white rice. It's still
I use white rice.
Yeah.
I still
basmati rice, orange slices, and pecan halves. And then the ultra processed snacks that they were offered was ultra processed are baked potato chips. So we're getting the healthier version. We're getting baked, right?
We notice everything chips. That's in the ultra processed sounds like it's like things that people might think is like not a healthier option, but just not that bad.
Yeah,
right?
We got the turkey meatballs, right? We've got the what is it? Diet lemonade here.
Apple juice.
Yeah.
You know. So like soda or something.
Right.
Sorry.
Right. So it's not like the awfulest it could be. Well, they had to match the calories, right? So you're going to, I mean, with these ultra processed foods, you're going to have to choose the diet lemonade. You're going to have to like save calories in some areas to try to match that. Because if this was all like your standard stuff, this would be like 2,000 calories more than what it is, right? If you use regular potato chips or soda instead of diet lemonade. But anyway, the ultra processed snacks were baked potato chips, dry roasted peanuts. Huh. Well, I guess because they're dry roasted? I don't know. That's not bad.
Dry roasted, that means they're not even using oil, so I don't know.
Yeah. Huh. Cheese and peanut butter crackers, goldfish crackers, and applesauce.
Okay.
Back off applesauce, bro. And then unprocessed snacks was fresh oranges and apples, raisins, raw almonds, chopped walnuts. I would argue that raisins are the same as applesauce.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're processing it in a way that makes it...
It's very high calorie.
Higher calorie and easier for your body to digest. For sure. Yeah. But either way, you get the point. And yeah, so calorie intake was significantly greater with the ultra-processed diet. 3,000 versus about 2,500 calories. And then their weight, the ultra-processed diet group gained about 2 pounds. And the unprocessed diet group lost about 2 pounds.
So they lost 2 pounds eating 2,500 calories.
Yeah.
Like, how big were these people?
Well, I could probably. Oh, they're sedentary, overweight males and females.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah. So it's interesting because they lost 2 pounds eating 2,500. It was only a 500 calorie difference. Well, 500 calories a week, they say, loses about a pound, right? So I guess that matches, but it's definitely like has to do with, it's not that much of a difference in calories, but clearly these people were very satiated because they chose not to eat more.
I think
What my favorite point of this, which we already know, but my favorite point of this study is just comparing the satiation of whole foods to ultra processed. Like, regardless of the amount of calories that they hold, the fact that you actually don't want to eat anymore because you're full and you're satisfied, and at the same time you're deriving less calories from those foods, so you could eat 3,000 and feel satiated, or 2,500 and feel satiated. And with the 2,500, you're probably only going to absorb or utilize, I don't know, 2,300, 22, 21, depending on the food, like 100 calories of that too. So you're having those effects also. And that's just from switching the type of food you eat, regardless of tracking calories, macros, any of that stuff. That's just switching the type of food that you eat.
Yeah.
Is massive. Massive impact.
Love Whole Foods.
Yep. Me too.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be gross. You can still eat yummy things.
It's never gross. Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's gross. But sometimes ultra-processed food is gross.
Yeah, that's true. I think some people feel like to eat healthy, it has to be bland and boring.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not true at all.
No.
Oh, I made this, dude. I'm in this phase right now. I don't know. Do you ever go through these phases? I get these meals that I do on repeat, and I don't like to really think about things. The whole 2 years we were in Korea, that's how I think of my life, right? Where we lived when we were in Korea, those 2 years, I had zero vigor about cooking. Zero. I couldn't have cared less. When we had people over, I was like, I don't want to cook for these people. What can I throw in like a crock pot? And that's not normally how I am. But and for myself too, it was the same stuff on repeat that we always eat throughout the week. I never was interested in trying new recipes or anything. Now all of a sudden I'm finding myself really bored with everything and I'm wanting to try new recipes. So I tried this like marry me chicken pasta, which I've done before, which is it's like sun-dried tomatoes and artichokes and some kind of creamy base. And is that marry me chicken, right? But it was a dump recipe. So you dumped like even the raw pasta and the liquids and everything into a casserole dish. And put it in the oven, and it had Parmesan cheese and chicken, and it was so good. And the most satisfying thing was how quick, number one, how quick it was to throw in. And number two was like seeing my husband when he ate it. He was like, this is so good. I was like, that makes me so happy. So I'm trying this like creamy beef orzo tonight.
Oh, nice.
Doesn't that sound good? Like talk about like whole foods being delicious.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I mean, pasta, I guess, doesn't necessarily fall into that, but it's fine.
Okay, I got some questions. Can you actually get stronger lifting dumbbells, or do I need to be using a barbell?
Oh, we know that one. You can absolutely get stronger using dumbbells. And obviously it comes down to progressive overload. So depending on the weights of the dumbbells you have, how far can you go? So if you have a wide variety of dumbbells, there's a lot that you can do. But one of my favorite ways to make sure that you can continuously get stronger for a longer period of time is doing like unilateral work. Mm-hmm. So single leg, single arm is going to make things harder, more challenging.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree that you can totally get stronger using just dumbbells. If your goal is to get as strong as possible, or like that's your main goal, then not really. Like you can only go so far, and then you probably want to switch to a barbell. Because the real way to get stronger, like build the most strength you can, is to lift in a lower rep range and do big compound exercises, because it requires your body to use more motor neurons and work together to lift that weight. And practicing that by doing lower reps and lifting more weight is the best way to do that. But that doesn't mean that you can't like progress or get stronger with a dumbbell. It's just not going to be the most, optimal way, I guess, to do it. But if your goal is to if you're a normal person, your goal is just to build muscle and get stronger at the same time, then you can totally do that with just dumbbells. But also, I love to get people comfortable with a barbell, because honestly, like that's when the game changed for me, was when I started using a barbell. That's when I started to have a really good time with my workouts, and it also gives you so much more variety, and it makes you feel very empowered once you get comfortable with that and learn how to use it.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, huge fan. I'm probably more of a fan of forcing yourself to use a barbell anyway for that reason.
Yeah,
because yes, I what you said about getting strong, you're not going to reach your max like potential using dumbbells, and you can with barbells, but not everybody needs to reach their max potential with strength. A lot of people just want to get stronger. They don't need to, try to reach their max potential. But the empowerment that comes with deadlifting your body weight and like using a barbell and feeling like a badass, and the variety.
So I would encourage people for that reason.
For sure.
Okay. Next question.
Yep.
Is tracking, this kind of goes along with what you were saying earlier, is tracking macros worth it, or is it just another thing to obsess over?
That's a very well phrased question. I definitely think it's worth it, but I also think it can become another thing to obsess over. I think both can be true, right? I definitely think it's worth it because of what you learn. I always compare it to budgeting. How are you going to really know? However, this is where I think that after you've used it as a tool, so it's like when you first budget, after you have figured out for a month, 2 months, 3 months, okay, now I really see where my finances are going. you can then make a plan to manage. And it doesn't have to be continuous budgeting of every dollar. That plan of management doesn't have to be that. Is that going to work? Yeah, because you're still seeing every dollar that goes in and out. But it doesn't have to be. There's other ways to manage, like giving yourself daily budgets or weekly budgets. Like I know that I can only spend, I've decided $50 on coffees during the week for both of us. And that's maybe a big number, but if it's $50, or let's say a month, not a week, $50 a month on coffees, and you just kind of stick within that $50 versus tracking every single coffee expenditure in your budget spreadsheet is similar to knowing that your lunch meal, you always build it to have 40 grams of protein and about, 500 calories. You don't necessarily go in and track all of those numbers, but you kind of build your meals to know that you're going to stay within and be able to manage that way. So you don't have to track every single calorie in your app in order to be accounting for macros in some way and managing them in some way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I do think it's worthwhile to learn it.
Yes.
But you don't necessarily need to always use it as your tool of choice. There's lots of other tools.
And some people I think it is almost like a crutch for them, and they do obsess over it a little bit too much. And I think for some people it's good to take a break from tracking. And I use it intermittently. Like right now I'm not tracking, and it feels really good to just eat intuitively, but it's hard to eat intuitively if you've never tracked before.
Right.
Like I kind of have a good idea of what I'm eating, and protein is really the big thing. That's like, I think you can hit your calories, especially if you eat mostly whole foods, but it's really hard for some people to know how much protein they're eating until they start tracking.
If I think that's what's really important. It's hard for it's hard for me to hit. I can hit easily 0.7 grams per pound of body weight. No problem. My natural intuitions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But without tracking, it's hard for me to get 1 gram or above per pound of body weight. I kind of have to really pay attention to that and be intentional.
Yeah. And most people have no idea, if they've never tracked before, that they're only eating 60, 70 grams of protein per day.
Exactly. And part of the reason that I said in the beginning of the podcast that I tracked so diligently yesterday was because of this pasta dish that I told you I made, this Marry Me chicken. I was so hungry and I was so excited about this recipe that I just made it, and I added chicken. It didn't actually have chicken in it, so I couldn't follow the macros or the whatever guidance that, in the recipe it tells you how many, whatever. It was not accurate for mine because I use different things.
Yeah, they never are.
Creams and a regular cream. Like I had to create my own recipe, but I didn't. And I knew it had cashew cream in it and cheese in it. I was like, I know this has a lot of calories, and I added a lot of chicken, but I don't know if I added enough to really make it. Like I was like feeling like I need to see the macros on this meal. Like, and I didn't the day that I made it, but the next day I took the time to like really make that recipe in MyFitnessPal and like divide it up in how many servings and blah, blah, blah. And it wasn't that bad. It was it was like 520 calories with 36 grams of protein, but I think I can make that even better with some tweaks next time I make it. And then have a bunch of broccoli on the side, kind of like fill in the gaps. You need that with like a pasta dish like that. You need like the extra veggie.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I was like needing to know because I couldn't calculate. I was like, I don't know. Is this 20 grams of protein? Is this 50 grams of protein? Like, where am I at?
Yeah, especially when you make new meals that you've never made before.
Mm-hmm. You can't. It's hard to mentally calculate.
It is. Okay. I feel guilty taking time for the gym when my family needs me. How do I deal with that?
Do you have an answer for this one?
Yeah, I do. So depends on what you mean by your family. Yeah, F them. Remember what she needs. Like, do they need you right this minute? I wouldn't feel guilty going to the gym because honestly, my family likes me more when I go to the gym because I am less anxious. I'm in a better mood. I'm a better person. I can handle stress better. I can just handle life better. And I'm just so much more better of a person when I go to the gym. So I wouldn't feel guilty about it. On top of it, it gives me the energy to play with Caleb and spend time with him. I still don't have as much energy as a 8-year-old does, but I can keep up with him a little bit and have time and energy to do that. So it helps me spend more time with him in a productive, way. Also, when you think about like, this is how I think about things too. When I think about the future, like way into the future, by me taking care of myself now, that means that other people are not going to have to take care of me in the future. Like, unless something, terrible happens, it's going to lower the chances where I'm going to need help from other people by me taking care of myself now.
Yeah. So taking care of yourself now, you're giving your children the gift of your health later in life. So you can help take care of their kids and they don't have to have the burden of having to take care of you. Or it's minimized, right? The chances of that. That's a good way to look at it. So it's actually, if you want to flip the script, you should feel guilty not taking care of yourself now,
right?
Because of you're increasing the risk of being such a burden on your kids when you're older.
Yeah.
And they would never say that. They would never say you're a burden, but it's hard to have aging parents who then you have kids. Like I have a friend now who has a 4-year-old and they're like, yeah, my parents offered to take him, but like they move slow and they're old and like I just don't feel as comfortable. Like they're not helpful. They want to be helpful and they say that they're helpful, but they're not helpful because they're not physically fit enough to be helpful. Like I want to be helpful. I want to literally be somebody that my kids want to be around because they're like, oh my gosh, my parents are so helpful. They take burdens off of me, and then having to take care of your parents, which is, I think, a little bit inevitable. Your parents, no matter how healthy you are, there's going to be a point where you can't be helpful with children and need to be taken care of, but you can minimize like how quickly that happens.
It's kind of like thinking of it like, this is how I think about it. I always relate everything to fitness and money, right? So if you invest when your kids are younger, instead of buying them all the toys that they want, right? Yes. You might feel guilty because you're not buying them every single toy. But instead, if you took that money and you invested it later on in life, you'll be able to help them more. And you will also not need help from them as you get older, because it's really hard when your parents are aging and you have to take care of them because they're, sick and they don't have money, right? And if you have to take care of your family and them at the same time, it becomes a big burden. So
yeah, I love that. I love that way of looking at it. I also think of it because I'm always imagining myself, it's like that spinning plates analogy. You're always trying to hold up all these different plates, like on your different fingers and toes and stuff. Yeah. And it's like work and being a good spouse or partner, and then being a good parent, and then taking care of your own health and fitness, and then being a good friend, and then being a good daughter. It's like all these things.
Too many.
It's too many, but it's also like it's too many, but it's also like a blessing to have all of these plates. Like
it is.
Oh my gosh, I'm so lucky I get to have all of these plates, because I have friends that I now are on a plate I have to balance. So I have a spouse that is now on a plate that I have to balance. Like I get to have these things. People with no plates, is very sad the less plates you have, but have a lot of plates and I'm spinning all of these plates. But also just kind of understanding and knowing that it is literally impossible to keep all of this plates spinning perfectly all of the time. And I think that one of the things that people that feel guilty about going to the gym or doing things for themselves is that they're so focused on that family and kids plate and keeping them spinning perfectly. And if they add another plate, which is their own physical fitness and health and me time or whatever, that those plates are going to dip or maybe even crash. And so what I always say is like it is a gift to have more plates. And also you have to go in knowing, one is going to crash at one point, or you're going to like almost drop it and then you'll pick it back up. They're always going to get a little bit lower and they're not going to be perfect, but at least you have them all and you can refocus your attention wherever they need. And it's probably a good thing that your family sees you taking care of yourself and that they're not like the center. And you don't need to do it every single day, all of the time, but like 1 hour, 3 days a week is totally acceptable.
That's also a good example that you're setting for your children.
Yeah.
Like, especially like if you have a daughter, you don't want your daughter thinking that when they get older, that their job is just to sacrifice themselves for everybody else.
Yeah.
So it's
your job is to take, and you might not say that with your words, but you're showing that with your actions. Your job is to take care of everybody all of the time and sacrifice yourself. No.
Yeah. And then the other thing that helps me with this personally is, and I know everyone doesn't have this luxury, but finding a time where they don't need me. So I do it first thing in the morning before my kids even wake up, before anybody needs, no, I never hear mom, like it's that time of day. So that's why I do it in the morning. Cause I know I don't have any other thoughts of like, well, should be doing this right now. I should be doing this right now. So I pick a time where it's my workout time.
Pick a more ideal time in your schedule, right? So if 6 o'clock is dinner time, trying to work out at 6 o'clock every day, you're going to feel guilty,
Yeah, right. Exactly. Those are all my questions.
Awesome. Want to do some would you rathers to round it out?
Sure.
All right. Would you rather max out your deadlift in front of a crowd
Ooh.
or do burpees on TikTok live?
Is this for me personally? Because people are looking at me?
Would you rather?
I mean, I know that, but I mean, did you pick this question for me? Because you're like, Laura doesn't like people looking at her.
I thought about you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like my answer is kind of like, I don't care. I'll do both. Like,
I would rather show off my deadlift for a crowd. Yeah. I'd rather do that. Be like, look at me.
You know what's funny is like, I don't know if I want to max out my deadlift in front of a crowd, because in my mind I'd be like, if these people can lift more than me, I might be embarrassed. You know?
Well, yeah, I guess it depends on the crowd, but no, because everyone's always encouraging. Like if you have people that are stronger around you, they're going to encourage you because they're excited that you're doing this. If you have weak people around you, they're going to be impressed, right? So
I want everybody to be impressed. Everybody.
I wouldn't be impressed. I'd be like, I could do that with one hand, Jamie.
Whatever, man. That's why you're not invited to my crowd. Show off. I'm not going to tell you what date I'm doing it. Would you rather be stuck doing only dumbbell workouts for the rest of your life or have access to only machines?
Only dumbbells.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah. Because if I had access, well, I could have machines at home, but no, I like dumbbell. Like I could get way more creative with dumbbells. If I only have machines, I'm like, how do I work my core? How do I work
you have the exercise? Every machine.
Yeah, but not the same way. It's not like how do I, like the exercise you were just saying, like how do I work out something contralaterally like that? How do I do like core stabilization things? How do I work out my entire body because if you use a machine, you're locked into a specific area and it makes it harder to work on those little stabilizing muscles. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I want real world experience, like real world, not experience, real world movements.
Yes, I agree with that. Would you rather work out in a gym full of influencers filming or a gym full of gym bros that are like dropping weight and yelling?
I would rather be with the gym bros than the influencers.
Me too.
Would you too?
Me too, yeah.
Yeah. The influencers all filming themselves, it would make me
And I think I'd feel like insecure too.
Yeah.
Whereas like, I'd feel insecure.
I don't think the gym bros even care what I'm doing. They're more interested in themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the kind of gym bros that are like yelling at each other and being like, remember that one time I texted you from the gym and I was like, this one guy's like, you fucking pussy. Like and his friend was doing the thing wrong. He was supposed to be doing front squats and he wasn't even like doing them very well. Yeah. And the guy was like yelling at him. It's like, oh my gosh. But even then, they're still they're not focused on me.
No, they're very entertaining. I would probably just laugh at them.
That's very true.
Right?
Yeah.
Question before you keep going. There's like a lot of people, like I've even heard, I just saw a clip of it, so I don't know what their real stance is, but I saw like Sal saying something about like from Mind Pump saying that cameras should be not allowed in the gym because it takes away from workouts. And like, I totally disagree with that because the influencers, yes, I get it. I understand they're annoying and whatever, but or he said phones in general. Like a lot of people, like I do my workout on my phone. Yeah. Like that's how I track it. I also think it's a good idea for people to take videos of themselves so they can see what they're doing and what it looks like so they can, fix things and whatever. So or if you're sending them to your trainer, I don't think they should be banned from
especially
the gym.
With the amount, like I know that the influencers are high, there's so many more of them, but there's also a lot more people that have online trainers. And so being able to send videos of your training to your trainer is like really important. I think a gym would be dumb to not allow.
Imagine if floor. I mean, they have mirrors in some places, but imagine if you never had like a camera. Like the only way I've learned how to squat is by videoing myself over and over again to see what I needed to fix.
Yep.
If I couldn't do that, I would just be going in blind and not knowing.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
what's a weird thing that I saw this online once and it really stuck with me. And this is just reminding me, and it's not related to fitness and nutrition at all. But like, if you think about it, we were never really meant to know what we look like. Like as animals.
Yeah.
Like we created mirrors.
Yeah.
And even I was telling my daughter this, she was like, well, we could have looked in a spoon. I was like, we created spoons. Like I'm saying, like before anything, the only time you would see a reflection is maybe in some water.
Water. That's
But
what I was
even
gonna say.
then it's fuzzy, it's moving around, it's not clear.
Yeah.
You can't
No.
really see what you look like. You can't watch yourself aging. And so if you think about that, like we're never actually really supposed to know what we look like. So if you think of humans before all of that, like the ways that we interacted with the world or interacted with each other, you're so much more focused on like the other person and their expressions, and you're focused on you just show up how you are. You're not stopping to think about how you look or how you know.
You would have no idea. You're like, am I attractive? I don't know. It depends, like how other people treat you, I guess.
Yeah. Isn't that fascinating? You really stop and think about it. It's like, wow. All right. I think I already know your answer to this one.
Okay.
Would you rather look like you lift,
okay,
but be weak, relatively weak? Or would you rather be strong AF, but not look like you train at all?
Like by not look like I train at all, am I fat? Like,
There's a lot of ways to interpret this.
Am I really skinny? Am I?
You pick. But there's no athletic look to you at all.
There's no athletic look to it. So I'm going to say that I'm probably just like skinny fat.
Sure.
So like I'm not like overweight, but I don't have any muscle tone.
Yeah. But you're super strong. Weak, by the way, for some reason, I want to say this isn't like dangerously weak.
Okay.
You're not like, so weak that you're frail. You're relatively weak.
I want to be strong, but it makes me sad.
Yeah. I think I would have to choose look like I lift, but be kind of weak.
That's what most people are going to choose. Yep.
Because I can still work on it. Yeah.
I mean, my favorite thing about lifting and working out is how it makes me feel. And if I feel weak, it's not motivating to me.
Yeah, but you look amazing.
Who cares? How does that help me in life if I can't, do things?
Yeah. All right. Thanks for listening. If you like this, leave us a review, leave us a comment. We'd appreciate it. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.